So sorry, everybody, for the technical difficulties that delayed the stream. Welcome to Way Back Wednesday, and you found your way down to the Matcave. Tonight, we are diving into The Force Unleashed. And it's just not going to be a standard playthrough. We're going to be going through some features of the games. We're going to look at some key story points. And we're also going to talk a little bit of some theories here, because I got guests with me tonight. Joining me tonight is going to be Hawks Holocrons and the Star Wars Obsession. We're going to be talking about the what could have been, the what ifs, and what could still be. Let's head over to the game and bring in the guests here, because I'm all messed up with technical difficulties and it's throwing me off my game. Let's do this, everybody. I'll see you over at the game. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doctor?
Oh, Doctor.
What up, man?
Doctor. What's up, guys? Oh, they feel my pain. Everybody behind the scenes, we were trying to figure this out, and, well, tonight the Streamlabs and all kinds of stuff did not want to play nice, but we're going to push through anyway, because it is Way Back Wednesday, and we're playing some more Star Wars games. Now, the first question I guess I should probably ask is, have you both played The Force Unleashed?
Of course.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Well, there was a reason I picked this game tonight to continue our run, and it was because there was a certain object we all saw as an Easter egg in Andor. And that Easter egg was from this game. And it turned out it was Sith Armor. And when fans like us that get real sweaty with this stuff saw that armor, theories started going crazy. Our minds started going nuts because we saw something of a what could be possibility for a character that we all loved. Starkiller was an amazing character portrayed by Sam Witwer. And 2 games of this series were done. We were supposed to get a third, and it never happened. So we just got kind of left off on a cliffhanger. And then after that, the world of Star Wars canon changed. What?
Yeah, man. The speculator. I'm so upset with people because they hang on to like Easter eggs. Bro, I don't want the Easter eggs. I want it to mean more than that. I want it to mean more than that. There was way too much inside that shop. Triggered me a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, there was a lot of stuff inside that shop.
I mean, that guy even had yeah, he had holocrons. That was crazy.
Exactly.
Right, he had Padme's headdress from her and Anakin, took off and did their own thing on the island of, their little Naboo outing. Her headdress was in, like, he had stuff he shouldn't have had. Just crazy stuff.
Yeah, it felt a lot like a lot of things were kind of just placed there because they could. But even still, just seeing those things represented, whether it was from the game or from another medium other than live action, it was cool to see it. But the standout object for me was that Sith armor, because I have been a huge fan of The Force Unleashed since day one, since it came out. And it's a storyline that I've wanted to see come to life in another form. The only other way I've ever experienced this game was actually reading the novelizations of both games, which, by the way, are fantastic. Those books go deep because a lot of them take place in his mind, and you're getting the thoughts of Starkiller, of how he's going through all of this. But the cool thing about this game was, like many games of its time and now, different editions of the games come out, and along the way, the Ultimate Sith Edition came out of this game, which fed off of the alternate ending of the game, and that's where the Sith armor came into play. And the cool thing is, the game lets you mess around with that and change the costume. So I thought it would be fun if we take a look at some cool areas of the game, but wear that Sith armor and see it in action. And the first place I'm going to bring us, actually, is a TIE Fighter factory. And this is one of those games that don't let you skip the cutscenes right away, so we're going to go through a little bit of this here, but there's some cool visuals, and we got Proxy, we got Starkiller.
Well, and what a cool droid to be honest, proxy is. So so functional.
Yeah, that ability that he has with the hologram around him.
Well, just to be able to change into anybody. I mean, this is a similar style of droid that Anakin used during his training. A droid to impersonate, different enemies.
Yeah. And it's cool that Vader uses this. Yeah, there is. At least I hear it. Everybody in chat. By the way, hello, chat. Hi, everybody. I'm so off my game tonight. Does everybody hear the game?
Yeah, double check with some people. I don't know if...
Let's see.
I don't know if I hear it.
I definitely hear it in my headphones. What do you guys hear?
Yeah, it's low, but I hear it.
It's low, but it's barely there? All right, let's...
It's low, but I hear it, yeah.
Hear it?
Yes,
okay.
And so the real question, though, chat, is how long until the Matcave eats it? In-game.
I mean, it's been a while, so I might die. But let's get the game sound up a little bit here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me get us going here.
Dude, I want characters like this, though. This homie right here to show back up.
Rom Coda?
Absolute maniacs. Just give me some Jedis in the wild space who've just totally lost their minds.
Yes. So much yes.
Please.
Yo, Rom Coda was such a
Everybody's
cool character.
Quiet, Matcave. Turn us all up.
I'm turning everybody up.
Need more snare.
There you go. I gave myself a little more also.
I need more snare. Oh yeah, I can do that.
Can I get a little hi-hat?
Oh, get ready.
Can I get a little more hi-hat?
A little hi-hat. All right, how's that, everybody?
Mine's all the way up.
Let me take a look. That's much better.
That's much better? Beautiful.
That's much better. Yep.
All right. So, we've got sound now.
Chest.
Almost like we're, YouTubers here doing this here for entertainment for everybody. Almost like we know what we're doing, but tonight I kind of messed up. But the point of doing this is right here in front of us. I'm going to turn the camera for us because here is Starkiller in the Sith Armor. And this is the costume that was standing there on like a stand in the back of that guy's office. I'm having a brain fart. What was that character's name in Andor?
Lucian.
Luthen?
What was
Luthen.
it?
Yeah.
Lucius Black?
Lucius
Something like that?
So Luthen's office, he has this standing like...
It's a little spikier, but yeah.
Yes, yeah, he's got the spikes on the hands, and there's actually even another version of this that happens later on.
Right.
But it's just so cool that you can actually mess around with this armor because this is based off of an alternate what-if ending of the game, and we'll dive into that a little bit later when we get into it. But seeing this armor in action, I mean, this armor is terrifying. And this game...
and it looks so clean, too.
Oh, yeah, right? I mean, it's just so sick. Oh, speaking of this, I'm glad you mentioned that, because what I've been doing lately with these Star Wars games, diving into the older games, was I've been playing with some sort of a twist to amp up the quality of these games. We started off our run doing the Force engine of Dark Forces, getting that all, done in a fan mod. We amped up with mods in Republic Commando. This one, though, was actually the easiest adjustment I've ever done in a PC game. No mod, no modifications to this whatsoever. All I had to do was go into the configuration file in a notepad and change the resolution. And I put the game in 4K and then loaded it up, and then it works. So anybody can do this.
Can we talk about the glove real quick?
Oh yeah.
And the claws. Like, can you imagine how terrifying it is? Someone just slowly force choking you, pulling them in with those claws on.
Oh yeah, those are weapons right there. It's just like Freddy Krueger.
Hell yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah, the design of this armor and even the back. I mean, that almost looks like a Sith holocron, like on his back.
Yeah,
that's just sick looking.
That's crazy. Some Iron Man stuff going on.
Oh yeah.
Lightsabers that we have on him at this point also.
At this point, He uses.
5 or 6.
He's got a few because he's been collecting them.
Right.
I'm gonna amp up with some power over here.
Yeah, like, where are these psychopaths in Star Wars? Like, we need more of this. We need to balance the Force out here a little bit. Guys.
Right?
Readouts are showing the hangar bulkhead has been sealed. You'll need to find a way through that door.
Well, and that's also the thing is that we've seen a lot of this cutscenes from Starkiller and be used in the ideas being used in other shows, right? So Ahsoka's descent in season 7 of the Clone Wars was very reminiscent of Starkiller's and even going to Jedi Fallen Order, very similar, running on a falling starship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was definitely a lot of inspiration that came from this game in some of the things we've seen over the years, and it's great that we got Sam Witwer back in different ways. Like he voiced Darth Maul.
Right. Phenomenally.
Yeah. Oh, what an amazing performance that was.
Unreal.
Yeah. But this game also tapped into more of the dark side lore. So this came out around the peak of prequel popularity, and at that time we were learning more about the Sith. We had already known a lot about the Jedi and we're learning more from these, but the thing that caught my interest the most was learning about the dynamics of the Sith. And we started to dive into that not only in the prequels but then in other games as well, like Jedi Academy, Jedi Knight, KOTOR. These things went deep into the dark side, and it was stuff that I didn't really know about if it wasn't for games and books like that. So when you get a story point that takes place in between the prequels and the original, and throw an idea in there of saying, hey, what if Darth Vader had a secret apprentice? Because we know the Sith betray each other. And you get to play as that apprentice.
Well, and that's why I think it would fit right into canon. I mean, that's the thing, is that this character would fit swimmingly into a current timeline, because all Sith apprentices have apprentices. Because they want to become a master, and your master is never going to concede to you, so you have to kill him, right? Mm-hmm. And have somebody to replace you. So it's a constant fight, and I feel like to say that Vader wasn't trying to always kill Palpatine in one way or another, bringing Starkiller in is just a great way to accent that constant rivalry.
Yeah. This brought in lines of thinking in the world of Star Wars that I think changed everything. Because this story worked perfectly, in my opinion, until we got to later things that came out as far as movies and shows, where things just kind of changed too much to the point where we really couldn't fit this anymore, at least in the place that it's in now. Because this game also served another purpose. It wasn't just teaching us about the dark side, it taught us about the start of the rebellion, the true beginnings of the rebellion. And that's something that I'm going to bring up tonight. It's a scene in this game that is one of my favorites, and I would love to see it recreated somehow in current canon, which I think they still can in some way. Maybe it's not Starkiller, but it's something that they could certainly dive into. And I actually thought we might have gotten there at some point in Andor, maybe even in season 2 of Andor.
Well, I mean, season 2 of Andor, or, I mean, really, you could make this story into its own animation, right?
Yes.
It would not be difficult for them to create a 6 to 8 episode arc of this story, right? You don't have to go into the intricacies of the relationships unless you want to, but you could definitely get the Vader with his secret apprentice, his own secret facility, finding a powerful Jedi or a powerful Force user created from 2 Jedi. The story is just great to to be able to put in the current timeline, because why can't you?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people's concerns, especially with a character like this, one of the first things I hear from people all the time is, "Oh, he's too overpowered,"
But he dies. But I mean, that's the thing about it, is he dies. If he was so OP, he would never die.
Yeah. Did I just lose you guys on the stream?
Yeah, you did. I think you did.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, what?
Well, you cut out of Discord.
I did?
For a minute. Yeah. And then popped right back in.
Weird.
Yeah, it's acting funky tonight.
Yeah, what's going on? Chat, we're dealing with all kinds of a mess. All right, I got the boys back.
Sith plots, bro.
Sith plots.
Sith plots, everybody.
That's it. But yeah, I mean, like I was saying, I think that everybody's like, oh, he's OP, he's OP. He's still lost, right? If you're gonna follow the timeline or the storyline where he starts the rebellion, then why can't he be the start of the rebellion, right?
Yeah,
it still fits. Like, why can't he save them? And that's why his family crest becomes a part of the symbol for the rebellion. Like, why can't it happen?
Yeah, and I love that you brought that up, because that even the crest for the rebellion, that was his family crest.
Right. So, but he dies. He sacrifices himself for this council of rebels, and that is exactly what better way to show, the hold on the dark side is never permanent, right? Like, this is, we see that with Vader, we see that with all these other characters. What a great way to show that a dark side user was really the spark of the rebellion.
Yeah. And I wonder if this will start with the cutscene. I think it will. So this is one of those stories where we start off with a dark side character, and it does move into going towards the light. He was a conflicted character, and eventually Vader does betray him. Quite violently, actually, but it was also ended up working in Vader's advantage, because Vader doesn't want the Emperor to find out what he's doing, and he's trying to keep this apprentice a secret. Now, I always felt that Palpatine knew the whole time of what was going on. I feel like Palpatine just wasn't going to let that slip, and he knew, and was just testing Vader throughout. But there's a point where you've spent your time in this game hunting down Jedi. This is post Order 66. He's collecting lightsabers from these Jedi Masters and giving them to Darth Vader, and just one by one taking them out. And eventually, Palpatine discovers what's going on, and to prove that he's still with him, Vader kills Starkiller in front of Palpatine, but only temporarily. He makes it look like he killed him, but Vader retrieves Starkiller, heals him, and then sends him back off on the missions. But at this point, Starkiller's like, why am I following you? Why am I still listening to you? And he's very conflicted, because all he knows is the dark side. Vader found him as a child, basically stole him from his father, and kind of raised him, I guess. I mean, could we almost consider Starkiller sort of like Vader's stepson?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people...
Slave, stepson, sure.
Yeah, a lot of people compare it to, like, what if Luke turned to the dark side? Some people, I believe the Stanley's already said that in chat.
I mean, the parallel I draw from this is, what if Plagueis got to Anakin before Qui-Gon? Right? Like, this is, for me, this is the parallel of what could have been for Anakin, right? Being the apprentice, another secret apprentice of Plagueis, and kills Palpatine instead, right? And, like, that's kind of the plan that could have never been.
Yeah. And I think if we go to... Oh, it's not there. Look, I don't even know where stuff is.
Well, and the reason that Palps forces him to do this is because Palpatine knows what it's like, number one, because he was in the Apprentice Wars during the reign of Plagueis. Plagueis had other apprentices as the master, not as the apprentice. and Plagueis basically made them feud against one another. So it's just fitting that Palpatine's like, nope, you need to get rid of your secret apprentice. I know where this road goes. Like, I'm not having it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's dangerous for not just the apprentice. It's incredibly dangerous for Vader because Palpatine is willing to kill Vader at any point. Like, and he's shown him, like, in different things we've seen it in the comics. We've seen Palpatine torture Vader. And it's, you know, Vader has a healthy fear of him. At least I've always seen it that way. I don't think he's just like, oh, you know, I have no fear over this guy. I think that fear drives Vader in a lot of ways and fuels his dark side abilities.
Well, he knows he can't take him himself, right? That's part of it. He knows that he's damaged goods. He knows that he's, you know, he's not 100%, and he knows he can't do it himself. That's why he starts to build Starkiller. That's why he asks Luke to join him, because he knows he can't take the Emperor himself, and that's what keeps him in a constant state of slavery, right? That's what keeps him bound and under the thumb. So it's the constant pressure. And I don't really think Palpatine lets Vader know or keeps Vader in fear of death more than torture, right? Because just the electricity, you know, Vader's suit is so susceptible to force lightning that that's more of the constant, like, oh, he can shut my stuff down and make me hurt, right? Like
I love the beginning of the Charles Soule comic when he sends Vader to get his Kyber crystal in that suit that he built for him. Comes back all jacked up or whatever, allows him to build his own suit. And then when he goes to fight Ochi, or he's out there sent on that mission, he tells Vader, you're not allowed to use the Force. And him and Ochi are fighting, and it gets to a point where Ochi, like, literally almost has the upper hand on homie. And I'm not saying he was scared, but, like, he's breathing heavy. He's got, like, a leg missing or some shit. And he literally just wrecks this guy with the Force. And he's like, wait a minute, I thought Palpatine said you couldn't. And he goes, I do not care what Palpatine said. And it's just, like, this moment where he just, like, turns, and you can tell he's just kind of over his shit.
Well,
over Palpatine's nonsense.
And Vader goes very primal in that battle. Also, he turns off his breathing assister, so it's almost like he's holding his breath.
Yep.
And because they're listening for that, and it's very primal. So like Vader is constantly being screwed with by Palpatine, but he also wants a way out, and he's constantly looking for a way out. And that's why the story of Starkiller would be great, because it still shows the vulnerability that Vader was under. He needed an assist. He couldn't do it by himself.
Yeah, and the amount of betrayal that happens with all of the Sith, and we've seen it in any of Sith history that we've seen, whether it's games, comics, novels, it always turns out very similar, because they all want that same power. They're after the same goal, but they can't all share it. Now I'm curious, I'm going to load this up here. I think that betrayal moment is right at the start of this. So I'm going to take a look here, because this is a great moment in the game. Yes, it is.
My mission is complete, Master.
We also get Emperor Palpatine voiced by Sam Witwer as well.
Return to my ship at once. We will at last control the galaxy.
That's coming through, right? You guys hear that now?
It seems that you are about to achieve your primary programming, Master.
Yes. Finally.
So Starkiller thinks they're about to go take down Palpatine.
Dude, this looks so good.
I know, right?
I know it does.
The Emperor's fleet has arrived.
Such a good Vader, too.
The Emperor to us when we strike.
I did not summon him.
Oh. There it is.
His spies followed you here. What is thy bidding, my master?
You have forgotten your place, Lord Vader. By taking this boy as your apprentice, you have betrayed me. Now you will kill him, or I'll destroy you both.
Master, we can defeat him together.
Do it now, Lord Vader. Strike him down and prove your loyalty to me.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yes, kill him, Vader.
Palpatine ain't taking any crap from anybody. Whew. You guys are seeing this on the delay, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Shouldn't be too much. It's not too far behind.
No.
No, it's fine.
He's floating now, right? So,
Yep.
Yeah.
this
This is crazy.
this is the turning point for Starkiller. This is what the hell happened.
Keep him restrained.
Yes, sir.
You killed me!
No. The Emperor wanted you dead. I salvaged your body and brought you here to be rebuilt.
He went to the modders on
The
Tatooine.
Emperor needed to believe you were dead. Now you
right.
can have your revenge and fulfill your destiny.
What is
14
that
people
meaning?
in chat tonight. Welcome, everybody. Good to see everybody.
Master.
The Emperor's spies watch my every move. We must provide them with a distraction.
What sort of distraction? An assassination?
No single act will gain the Emperor's notice. We must assemble an army to oppose him.
An army.
Yes, an alliance of rebels and dissidents. When these rebels have distracted the Emperor and his spies, we will strike.
This is key.
Where should I start?
Your destiny is now your own. Sever all ties to your past. No one must know that you still serve me. Now go, and remember that the dark side is always with you.
Vespa powers activated.
Ah, Master, I'm pleased to see that you're not dead. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to kill you myself.
Well, I'm sure you get the chance once we get out of here.
Yes, but before I kill you, I am to do everything I can to help you vanish. Should I ready the rogue shadow for launch?
Yeah, it's. I like
Yeah,
how they
you go
use
ahead.
proxy
I'll meet you
also.
there.
Yep. Because Proxy is always there. Basically, Proxy has his own mission from Vader because he's a training droid. And Vader basically assigns Proxy to kill Starkiller any chance you get.
Right.
And look for your openings. At the same time, Proxy is also incredibly loyal to Starkiller. So it's this weird relationship they have because Starkiller also feels something for him as well. It's one of those rare relationships that you see in the Star Wars universe where a human is kind to droids, basically. But I also think that moment in this story is amazingly interesting because Vader basically starts the rebellion as a distraction to Palpatine. And he's willing to let this happen and just let this, because Vader in his mind, I think, is just like, whatever starts, we'll just wipe it out, whatever, we'll take care of it after the fact. But keep Palpatine distracted over there while you and I continue our mission and find that moment to beat Palpatine. But Palpatine's proven his power so many times. We saw him completely mess up Darth Maul and Savage in Clone Wars. He just wrecked both of them.
Well, like it was a game too.
Yeah, oh, he's laughing the whole time.
He was just having a good time, moonwalking, like he was just chilling. But yeah, I mean, this is also, I mean, this, like I said, how can this not be an interesting story arc to bring into the current timeline, right? Like, why can't you put this in the current canon and run with it?
Yeah,
right. Like this is even if it's animated.
A lot of it doesn't even interfere with stuff we've seen. So
no, it just adds layer to Vader's constant, his constant ambition to kill the Emperor. Right? Like it's a constant thing, whether he's trying to have somebody else do it, or he's trying to do it himself, or he's trying to builds a rebellion by accident. You know, it just seems like that doesn't interfere with anything, and I don't think anybody has a problem with that, especially if they follow Starkiller till he dies.
Right.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
I think they could work it in, and I'm not worried about him being overpowered, because obviously if they were to bring a character like this in, they would tone him down. It's like, you know, you're not going to make him video game powerful in a live action thing. It just wouldn't make sense. Well,
I mean, make him video game powerful. If anything, he is not. He doesn't have. He doesn't have the foresight. Right. That, I mean, yes, he's powerful, but obviously if he's not predicting and not seeing Vader's intent when he's getting stabbed or, or getting any of this stuff that happens to him that he's surprised about, he's obviously not as tapped in as we think he is. Maybe his offensive power is a little more, on the strong side, but for every strong trait a Jedi has, their weakness somewhere. Right. So,
yeah.
I feel like, yeah, you can make him OP when it comes to like abilities, but I mean, Palpatine wasn't like the most powerful because he was the strongest or the best at this, the best at that. He put all the moves together.
Yes, Palpatine really did find a pretty amazing balance between everything, because he was using foresight. He was paying attention to visions of the possible future, and Starkiller does make an attempt at that in this game. When you do eventually try to transition to the light side, you see him meditate basically for the first time in that way, and he's even asked, like, she's like, what are you doing? He's like, meditating. She's like, have you done this before? He's like, not as a Jedi.
Right.
So there's different types of meditation even.
Right. And I mean, we don't see it as often with Vader, but even Vader in his pod, that's what he's doing a lot of the time, right? He's healing and he's amongst that stuff, but he's also meditating. He's also, deep in thought and using Sith meditation. So there's
the only thing I ever got is the Vader comics behind me that you've gone over, and we've gone over it. Like, one of my favorite scenes from the comic is him meditating over Mustafar. He's crisscross applesauce floating, and his armor's floating around him. He's not wearing any of it.
Right.
He's not using it to assist his breathing, which is huge, I think. And when they go into his mind, he sees his body with the limbs missing, and they're all white. Like, there's no darkness in them because they're not there, but he can see his whole form. So I think when he meditates, like, it messes him up even more. Like you're saying, there's different types of meditations. I love that scene.
Yeah.
He meditates and sees himself killing all of the Jedi successfully in that comic as well. Killing Obi-Wan successfully as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in it at this point, man. And
right. And I mean, he knows how to meditate properly because he was trained, but Starkiller doesn't. So to figure it out is an interesting part of this game and this story that he goes through. I just don't agree with the OP impression, because that would mean that Starkiller kills the Emperor, kills Vader, is untouchable. That's OP to me, right? OP Starkiller would be like, well, he decimates everybody, but he doesn't. He loses.
Yeah, because even when you
loses.
technically beat the game and you technically win, the Emperor destroys him. He's just
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even, you know, I mean, I'm gonna quote one of my favorite movies, but you know, sometimes when you win, you really lose, and sometimes when you lose, you really win, and sometimes when you tie, you actually win or lose, right? Like it's in this atmosphere of the Sith side, Palpatine reigns supreme. He's OP.
Yes.
Right? Like he is the OP. He is the definition of OP, and Starkiller has an amazing power level, but at the end of the day, he still loses because he doesn't have all of the abilities.
I'm curious how much foresight Palpatine had, because also in that comic he gifts him the Momin helmet that literally takes him to Mustafar for 10 plus years. Like, you can do the speculations. How many years would it take to build 10 versions of the Vader fortress?
Oh my God.
You can count how many times he put the helmet on a soldier, on a bug thing from Mustafar. Like, he tried everything. He was there for a decade.
Yeah.
Well, and to go one step further, Palpatine knew that Momin was possessing that helmet. So at some point, he's going to take Vader on a ride and truly test Vader to find out if Vader is truly loyal to the dark side, or if he's gonna, you know, flounder his way back to trying to go to the light. So it's really a constant game for Palpatine and all of his apprentices. It's a constant game, and he's playing it so well that none of the apprentices can keep up.
Well, do you think
sends
he's
him out there with the helmet, right? For the whole time that he's out there, he's training the Inquisitors. When he comes back, he gifts him the Inquisitors. Like, these gifts are not gifts, Palpatine. Like, I'm on to you, man. Like,
right. That's just it. Like, everything that looks like a positive for Vader is not, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, Palpatine is constantly just screwing with him.
Yeah.
Every chance he gets, right?
Yeah.
And even during the Clone Wars, he's constantly screwing with him. Oh, I know how to save your wife. He don't know shit. He don't know nothing.
That was all part of the plan.
Right? He plays him the whole time, and he continues to play him. And even in that last scene, he's telling Luke, I own him. He can't betray me, right? It's the same speech that Kylo or that Snoke is giving Rey. Like, I can't be betrayed. I can see inside his mind, right? And again, the only thing that is Palpatine's demise is his overconfidence in his own control, right? Of everything around him. So it's just, to me, there is no OP Starkiller. You can do it. It's easy. It'll give us a great story. Follow this script and just give us the cutscenes in live action or in animation.
Yeah,
it's true.
It can be done. It can be done really well. And I know, you know, a lot of the fandom, you know, worries about breaking the canon and breaking the story, but I agree. I don't think this would break the story. I think this is something that can be fit into place, and it fits so well before a lot of other things existed, where we start to rethink it as far as the timeline goes. But we have so many years to work with that why not just make a slight adjustment, move it a little bit, just enough to make this going on in the background. Because think about how much we're watching happening while we're not seeing what Vader's doing. In the grand scheme of things, how much of Vader have we truly seen?
Well, that's what I was just thinking also, which exactly what you're saying is that, you know, like Scotty said, he's on Mustafar getting his temple built, his fortress built for several years, let's say, whatever the timeline is. Vader's only pulled out in extreme conditions.
Yeah.
Right? We found Kenobi. Sweet, I'm on my way. Right? Like, we need you to come and handle some rebels, right? On Lothal, right? Like, oh, you know, the Inquisitors can't handle it. We're bringing in the big gun, right? Like, that's it. That's the only time he comes off of Mustafar. The rest of the time, he's handling business on Mustafar. So, yeah, we don't see Vader come off of Mustafar very much until the appearance of Luke, and that's when Palpatine pulls him off the bench.
Yeah, and even within this confined story, because this is a short period of time that this takes place in, we have things going on where the Death Star is being built. We have the Emperor playing out all these different games he's got going on around the galaxy, messing with the Senate and doing all this. We have Bail Organa and Mon Mothma trying to get things work together. And if we were
he has to have a hell of an assistant, because he still had time to turn Mandalore into glass somewhere around there.
There's so much time to work with. They can fit this stuff in.
Man.
You know,
but here's the thing: is this story only has to fit in somewhere in the 19 years of in the 19 years of the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's only got to. It doesn't have to start immediately after Order 66. This can be a year down the road, 2 years down the road before the true rebellion gets built. Right? I mean, because you've got Mon Mothma, you've got Bail Organa, you've got all these characters that need to meet and start talking about rebellion and get caught in the same room, right?
Yes.
Like, that has to happen first, and then Starkiller's story can be told. So really, it's going to fit right into the middle between between Episode 3 and Rebels, basically. It's just got to fit somewhere in there.
Somewhere within there. And
that's it. And that's a 10-year gap, 12-year gap.
That event that you're speaking of actually is a great segue into this moment here in this game. It's one of my favorite moments in this game. It happens before you reach the last level of the game, which happens to be the Death Star under construction.
That's what I'm saying.
And this is the meeting of the minds. This is the formation of the rebellion. So Starkiller has been through this journey. He's betrayed by Vader. He's trying to play Vader. Again, yes, again betrayed by him. So he's trying to act like he's still following Vader's orders, while at the same time he's helping.
Well, you fooled me once, you just can't get fooled again.
Exactly.
Whatever the hell Bush said.
The way he said it was amazing. Amazing moments in history. But this moment here, and I know for a fact this cutscene's at the beginning of this level, this is the moment where Starkiller, his conflict within him becomes clear. This whole game he's conflicted. He doesn't know which side he's on, and he's basically helping both. But at this moment, this is where it becomes clear. So I'm gonna launch this, and we're gonna see some familiar faces. And there is also a moment that I would love to see happen in live action, and we're gonna take a look at it now.
Your actions on Raxus Prime have left the Emperor most displeased.
The Emperor's enemies are still scared. I am just now earning their trust. If I am ever discovered talking to you, if they even suspect my past, all that will be destroyed.
Do not wait too long to contact me.
Can you trust him?
Vader won't risk my mission, even if he has doubts about me. Have we arrived?
We've reached Corellia. They're all here. Bail and his allies. You have your Rebel Alliance. Now, what are you going to do with it?
Just trust me. Okay? I'm doing the right thing.
I love that they meet on Corellia.
Right?
This is the moment I want in live action.
We agree that the time for diplomacy and politics is past. It is now time for action. If you are willing to lead us, then we'll join your alliance.
As will I.
I mean, a young Leia?
Mm-hmm.
Bail? Mon Mothma?
It is settled then.
The General?
My wealth will fund the rebellion while Garm provides our fleet and Mon Mothma our soldiers. And with you leading us, we have the power of the Force on our side.
Yeah.
Therefore, let this be an official declaration of rebellion. Today, we all vow to change the galaxy. And one day, the galaxy will indeed be free.
Oh, man.
Proxy! Cut transmission!
This is so badass.
The Emperor wants to execute them personally. You have done well, my apprentice.
Damn, Vader, he said alive.
You
bro.
agreed to stay away!
Lied, as I have from the very beginning.
You never planned to destroy the Emperor.
Not with you, no.
Without me, you'll never be free.
Proxy coming in hot. Vader just gets so brutal during that. I love that Proxy chose Obi-Wan.
Right, how fitting.
They're gone. Vader took them all.
Oh, this actually has the meditation scene in it as well. I forgot about that.
Then why would Vader let us attack so many Imperial targets?
To sell the deception. Credits, starships, Imperial lives, they're all meaningless to Vader.
Remind me who this
Vader
girl
needed me
is?
to find the Emperor's enemies no matter the cost, and I did exactly what he wanted me to.
This is,
Yes, you did. But
yeah,
now
Vader
this
assigned her
alliance
to
rests
basically
only
be
with
his
you.
pilot to take him on all the missions.
Gotcha.
Why am I forgetting her name?
Going after
Man, I
Vader.
can't think of anything tonight.
And the rebels.
You actually get a lot of her backstory in the novel.
What are you doing?
Meditating. Jedi can
Juno
sometimes
Eclipse. There we
sense
go. Thank you.
visions of the future.
Thanks, Stanley's.
Have you done this before?
I knew there was a sweaty out there somewhere.
Never been a Jedi before. Coda!
What? What did you see?
A massive space station.
Oh, so good.
Space station.
That's no moon.
That's no moon.
Keep the ship cloaked and wait beyond scanner range.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
Well, then maybe we're doing something right.
Am I going to see you again?
If I can free the rebels, they're gonna need extraction. Probably not, no.
Yeah, if a character asks,
Then I'm
am I going to
going
see
to
you
note this
again?
down.
The answer is usually no.
That's a negative Ghost Rider.
That's a negative Ghost Rider. The pattern is full. Gets his Jedi hood and everything at that point. Oh man, that sequence when I first played this and got to that moment on Corellia, and we have Bail Organa there, voiced by Jimmy Smith, so he actually reprised the role for the game. We got Mon Mothma there. We got the young Princess Leia, and Vader starts coming in, the first thing I thought of was like, oh my God, he's going to see Leia. And Jimmy Smits yells, he's like, Proxy, cut the transmission. I was like, oh my God. That was like that was close moment. It just, it felt like, it's like in Clone Wars where they had to work so hard at not allowing Anakin and Grievous to meet. It's like, you can get close, but they can't happen. And it was just so powerful the way they all came together. And that was for the longest time, as far as I was concerned, that was the beginning, the official start of the rebellion. Basically, the surviving senators picking up where they left off from the deleted scenes that were in Revenge of the Sith.
Right. And it's again, it's just a fitting story that you can jump right in with. Right. You just put it somewhere in the middle of that, at the end of that 12 years between, Order 66 and Rebels, and you're in business.
Yep. I'm going to jump to something while we're talking here, because there is definitely some moments we do got to look at. This is the menu I was looking for before, by the way, with all the cinematics. There's so many of them in this game. It's
definitely, a story that's easy to fit in, and not everybody, understands that if he was so OP, he wouldn't have died.
Yeah.
Like, I still hold true to that. Like, if you're so OP, you don't die. Like Rey, right? I can understand they call Rey, a little OP because she doesn't die. So, I get it.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a problem of his power level. I think it's a matter of whether or not he's completely, or any character is completely invulnerable. Which he's not. Starkiller definitely is not.
Well, and he takes his abuse, right? Like, it's pretty consistent that he gets his butt kicked.
Yeah. I'm just backing off there because the music was getting really loud there. But I'll jump back to that menu when we dive into that. So, if they were to fit something like this in, where obviously not the way the rebellion formed, because we do have that officially now, kind of take some things aside from it. If we had Vader having a secret apprentice and they fit it into play, would we want to see any hints of something like that in a show like Andor, for example? Or do you feel like that should be something that we see more Force-oriented? Something in Ahsoka, something in, where do you think, and what type of show do you think that would fit? Because at this point, and I keep saying show because I don't think it would happen in a movie at this point. I think Disney's very gung-ho on everything being a series.
Yeah, I think they could do any part of it, really. I think they could canonize the fact that a cloning effort took place by Vader to create something, knowing that Palpatine was doing the same thing. I mean, that's what the dark side does. Palpatine's there to own the power, and Vader's there to take it away. So it doesn't even, I don't know, call it the same thing if you want to, maybe not. But if we get Sam Witwer in any shape or form in that role, and it's a possibility, I want it.
Yeah.
And I'm frustrated if they're just, again, I'll say it. I'm frustrated if they're just Easter eggs. Goddamn.
If it's just, it's such a tease.
I don't want fake Mortis tablets. I don't want any of it. Sorry.
Yeah, it just seems like it's, I mean, I don't really think they cemented the start of the rebellion in any show, right? I don't remember seeing the real start of like that scene, a unification of, Mon Mothma, the ships, the soldiers, the money. We saw Bail and Kenobi and Yoda agree to keep this secret with the kids, but we never see a formal rebellion form. And this would be a fun story to tell because we never really see it. From one day to the next, it's like Order 66, and then everybody else is rebels, right? Everybody else are insurgents or traitors, right? But there's never a formal vow of a rebellion, right? Even in Andor, right? They call themselves rebels, but they're just a tiny little cell of people, right? They're a cell of maybe less than 10 people at this point that we see. So it just seems like this could be a story that fits in right around Andor, or, because it's got to be around the time that the Death Star is being built.
Yeah. Because even in the show Rebels, the rebellion is still, it's just pieces. It's little groups that scattered. They don't all necessarily, like, obviously they have the same ultimate goal, but they have way different methods of getting there. Biggest differences being between Mon Mothma's methods and Saw Gerrera. Very different. But the ultimate goal is the same, to defeat the Empire. It's just all these different sectors, they haven't really been united yet. And if we could get this...
It does have to be, let's be realistic. It does have to be in a time where there are still some Jedi around, right? Because he does have to hunt Jedi, and he does have to go through that whole process as Vader's apprentice. So, it does have to be in a time, sometime before the Jedi are completely scarce.
Yeah. And we get to see just a nightmare moment in Kenobi where we see Vader's
rage.
Call it a trophy room, if you will.
Yeah.
Say what you will about that series. That moment, that's one of the most insane things I've ever seen in Star Wars. And the fact that there were already so many Jedi and Force adepts in there, and then there were all the vacant slots waiting for someone to be put in there.
Bro, and Mace Windu was in there too.
Yeah, we had the little clip of Mace Windu, the possible Mace.
Honestly.
What was Mace's nickname? Obsession?
He's a bus driving bitch. A bus driving bitch, Mace Windu. Look, it's definitely got like I said, it's definitely got room to grow, room to tell this story. So it's just it's just a matter of whether they want to put the pieces together and just show the start of the rebellion, because that's really what the show would be. The last scene would be the same as it is in this game, almost, for the most part, is what was it called, like the hero sacrifice or something like that. It wouldn't be hard to put that to a show in a limited series.
Yeah, that's actually that's something I didn't even head down that line of thinking, of having it not be a part of something already in the works, have it be its own limited series, something like a 5-6 episode, whatever.
Yeah.
That
finishes with the death of Starkiller and the literal conversation of using his crest as their symbol and as an homage and this and that. That would be the way that you end the show. You don't show them going off and doing anything else. Maybe you show a fleet of Y-Wings or X-Wings flying off into the distance with their new symbol on it and call it a day and fade out to black. Like, that should be the last scene in the show.
Oh, I would love that. That would be so epic. That's a storyline that I feel like it would actually be difficult to divide the fandom with, because I think no matter what side of the fandom you're on, we all want that in some form.
Everybody wants Witwer back. Everybody wants him to come back and reprise any role. But this would be an easy show that really, it would be hard for anybody to hate on. Of course, you're always going to have the baiters and the haters, but it would be hard to really hate on it, being as it's just telling the start of the rebellion. It's not breaking canon. It's not changing canon. It's simply a story of Vader trying his hand at cloning. And it working fantastic, but at the end, his guy's got to die. Starkiller show, 6-episode limited series, go.
Yeah, because we're looking at just the first game at the moment, but the second game dives deep into the cloning process with this, because the end of the game, and we've mentioned it multiple times already tonight. Spoiler alert for this old game.
Yeah, for this 15-year-old game.
15-year-old game. The main character dies. Starkiller does die at the hand of the Emperor. In the actual ending. But don't worry, everybody. I saw it in the chat. I saw everybody talking about it. The alternate ending in this game, we are going to cover that, because we started all this talking about the Sith armor that we saw as an Easter egg and where it came from. Well, we're going to see where it came from and where it goes, because what they did with this series was something I never thought I'd ever see. So many people love the Marvel's What If. Well, there was a Star Wars What If. And it was in these games. It was DLC. But we're going to get there in a little bit. The alternate ending is pretty crazy because it gives you a choice. But we've seen Starkiller now be the inspiration for the start of the rebellion. We're seeing main characters come together. They have a symbol to all unite behind. And we're heading into the climax of this game, of this story, where Starkiller has chosen his side. He's chosen to join the light, to try to be a Jedi, and he's going to go face off against Vader and Palpatine. And it gets pretty brutal. You're running through the innards of the first Death Star while it's still under construction. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Tons of stormtroopers and all kinds of areas you can go in. But one of the coolest things you see is the laser being tested, which is really cool. Yep. But the ultimate showdown comes down to Vader and his secret apprentice. And how is Palpatine going to react to this? How is Vader going to choose to handle this? And I'm going to jump back to those cinematic menus here, because they're all built into there. When they initially meet up, you get a fight against Vader, and then you end up in the throne room where the captive senators are. And okay, so here we go. We saw everybody get captured on Corellia, and I'll play this one as well because there's some great moments of Palpatine here. But I'll show you how this truly ends, and then we're going to dive into the alternate ending, which is the big Easter egg.
You are all traitors to the Empire. You will be interrogated, tortured.
Yeah, what's it called? It's like
of your friends and allies. And then you will die.
Our deaths
Symbol
will
of
only
hope.
rally others.
Yes.
Your very public and painful executions will serve as an example to the rest of the galaxy.
There may be a rebellion yet.
Lord Vader, deal with the boy.
Trained you well, but you still have much to learn.
You have nothing left to teach me.
So that leads into an actual fight that you play against Vader. And being that these are just the cinematics, we're not going to see the gameplay here at the moment. But if you play well in that fight, you overpower Vader. You take him down, you cut down, his helmet gets busted, he's losing parts to his suit. Vader ends up in just a mess. Like, Vader could be killed. Yes, he ends up in shambles. And you're presented with a choice. You can either finish off Vader or go after the Emperor. The actual choice is to go after the Emperor, and this is what happens.
Yes, kill him. He was weak. Broken. Kill him and you can take your rightful place at my side.
No!
Help him!
Oh, it actually didn't show that part there. Okay, so it's going to be this one. So that's your moment of choice. Bale's like, help him. And you have to make this moment, this choice in that moment. And if you head towards Vader, you're going to fight Vader more and kill him. Or you can go after the Emperor and reach the actual ending of this game, which I'll play here, and then we'll dive into the alternate.
You were destined to destroy me. Do it. Give in to your hatred.
Do it.
He's beaten. Let it go.
It's a trick. He's stronger than you know, and he deserves to die for what he's done to me.
Maybe so. But if you strike him down in anger, you'll be right back where you began.
Get Bale and the others out of here. I'll be right behind you.
Oh, Palpatine.
Go! Hurry! Protect the senators!
I love this moment between Palpatine and Vader.
He is dead.
Then he is now more powerful than ever. He was meant to root out the rebels. His sacrifice will only inspire them.
But now we know who they are. I will hunt them down and destroy them. As you always intended, Master.
You must be relentless, Lord Vader. If even a single rebel survives, this alliance that we have unwittingly created will be our undoing.
Are we ready to finish what he started? Then at last, the Rebel Alliance is born. Here. Tonight.
We need a flag to rally behind. A symbol.
Oh, man.
Of hope.
Is it just me, or does it look like Coda's wearing pieces of Mandalorian armor?
All right.
He's at last one with the Force.
You always knew who he was, didn't you?
I suspected, yes.
Then why did you help us, after all the things we'd done?
When he came to me in the bar, among all his dark thoughts...
Yeah, maybe more like clone armor. You're right, Weaven.
I glimpsed one bright spot. One beautiful thing he held on to, even at the end.
What?
You.
It was a love story.
A tale as old as time. Yeah, I mean, look, that's not a hard, short... I mean, shit, you could even do that in a Tales of the Jedi if you wanted to.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you could do this in Tales of the Force if you wanted to. If you don't want to call it a Jedi because he's a, from light to dark and dark to light, something along those lines would be perfect because it's a story that's easy to tell. It's a story that doesn't need to be, drawn out into multiple seasons. It can be a limited short series. It can be something that doesn't have to take a long time. And it's a story that would be great to tell because it is the initial start of the rebellion. No one else. I mean, look, Sam Witwer, yeah, that's great. But I mean, de-aging, do you really want to go through the whole Hayden Christensen thing again? Do it in animation, do it in Clone Wars style art. It'd be an upgrade from what we have now. I just feel like the live action is such a risky venture with the different teams that are working on things. Just put it in animation, do it Dave Filoni style, get the band back together, and just do it because it's a story that the start of the rebellion. I mean, we've seen the start of the Empire. Now it would be awesome to see the start of the rebellion.
Yeah, it's something that I think animation would work amazing for something like this. Even if they wanted to up the ante and not stick to the Clone Wars style and do like crazy CG animation that's lifelike. You got Sam Witwer, who's already a pro when it comes to motion capture. I mean, he's done it so many times.
I mean, yes, I agree with X-Wing. Sam Witwer is a vampire, and he hasn't aged in his face in a day.
The man looks great.
Okay. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, it's they could certainly alter the story too as far as where he comes from. Like, it doesn't have to be an exact retelling of this. I would be open to a different interpretation to help it fit better. If it makes that puzzle piece work better with the story, I'm fine with that. That said, don't stray.
I mean, I like the child of two. I like the child of two Jedi though. I like that story because it's just like Luke and Leia. It's a hidden trophy, basically, something that shouldn't exist, right? So it's a perfect adaptation to just make it the two Jedi ran away from the Order. Vader found them, took their kid, secretly raised it. Boom, checkmate. It's done. Fast forward, 10, 15 years, whatever it is, 20 years, and Vader's got himself a legit assassin. And then start to break it down until the last scene is that table scene.
Yeah.
Dunskies.
X-Wing, you're right. It is a slippery slope, but I don't mean adapt for a modern audience. That's the wrong thing. I mean adapt for current canon. Like, make it fit with the story. Screw modern audiences.
And I mean, I agree. Do literally what The Last of Us is doing. Take the script from the story. Don't write anything new. Just literally give it to us in whatever format you're going to choose to, whether it's live action or animation. Give it to us in that format, and don't change the story because you don't have to.
Yeah, that's a really good point too, right there. The Last of Us is 2 episodes in, and it's already proof that these adaptations can be done right. So why not let that happen in the world of Star Wars? There are so many stories in the world of Star Wars, whether it's games, books, the shows, and everything. It's just in the comics, there's so many things that can be adapted that really don't have to be altered much. There's always going to be changes when you go from one medium to another, but it doesn't have to stray too far. And I think Last of Us is a great example of that. It can be done.
I mean, they already have the script. They took the script. They just adapted it to a live action format. They didn't change anything. You could do the exact same thing with this show. You take the cutscenes, you build in the action sequences in between them. You've got the mocap. You've got the best technology of the day to make people look like they're floating, to give Starkiller that OP feel until the end. Until he sacrifices himself. And that's the chink in the armor, is that he's not this indestructible Sith. He's fed up with getting bullied, and he's willing to sacrifice himself for something more, right? That's a great story to teach. That's a great lesson to put out there. And it's very Jedi and it's very Star Wars. How can anybody get pissed off about that story?
Who is credited as the lead actor and who is the supporting actor? We're going to have Hayden Christensen and Sam Witwer.
See, and that's the most exciting thing. If you did it live action, that's the most exciting thing, is putting those two in the same room together. That's the and I think that burns the internet. That breaks Twitter. I think if you put Hayden and Sam in the same room doing action sequences together, that breaks the internet.
I mean, that's a huge opportunity to handle two adaptations simultaneously. Let Vader be the lead. Let it be primarily his story that includes his secret apprentice.
Right. I mean, it just, that just kills everybody. I think that's something you announce at Celebration. That's something that breaks the internet for a day. You know, I think everybody walks away a little dizzy in that avenue, right? Everybody comes out of Celebration dizzy, because that's something that no one has ever thought would be possible.
Yeah.
But Sheev, who's above who on the credits?
Yeah.
I still didn't get an answer from anybody.
I mean, honestly,
nobody.
If it's the story of Starkiller, Sam's the headliner.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because Vader is a supporting cast member at that point.
But what would they do? Would they call it a Starkiller story, or would it be called like?
Call it Starkiller. Absolutely.
Some crazy shit.
Just call it Starkiller.
My God, I would even push it as far as
the Empire.
There's, there we go. I mean, we could do, but I mean, would you be opposed to just calling it The Force Unleashed?
I mean, yeah, that
would be cool.
Perfectly fine.
Huh?
I mean,
yeah,
anything along those lines is perfectly fine, right?
Yeah,
I mean, call it the Book of Starkiller. I don't care what you call
Book of Starkiller.
Right.
No more books outside of book form.
No more books. But I mean, call it what you want. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, The Force Unleashed. I mean, they did The Force Awakens. They've done, all of that. Why not name it something as easy as The Force Unleashed?
Yeah.
And it's done, and people are excited about it. It's just an easy script to write because it's right there, right? The somebody at Lucasfilm that wants to be a screenplay writer, go in because you're watching this stream. Go in, write the script on paper like you wrote it yourself, and then just hand it in, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because that's really all they have to do. Right, they've got Hayden back in the fold, so that's a great Vader.
Yep.
Right, they've got Sam already in the fold doing all this other stuff. He's at every celebration, he's at every con. So yeah, I mean, he's obviously into it. People have asked him, "Would you do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, all they got to do is make the phone call."
Bro, Sam would play every character in the movie like Eddie Murphy.
Right.
Yeah, that would be great.
But I mean, think about it. You've still got Ian, right? He's still running around, so he can play Palps, right? Even if it's hologram form, it doesn't even have to be a whole lot of walking around, right? There's so many people that are still alive that could make this happen. It just would be easy.
Yeah. It would be absolutely incredible, especially if you get those two guys on screen together for this. That breaks TV, that breaks the internet, that's just.
Sam called him. He was like, "So, you back?"
Right. I mean, that's the conversation I want. I want to see the FaceTime between Hayden and Witwer and Ian, and being like, "Hey, so do we want to do this?" Right? Like, you guys in? I'm in. Right? I mean, that's the conversation I want to hear.
Yeah. If you guys want to see something,
I'm live over there talking about it all the time. You should come hang out.
It's funny you say that, because on Sam Witwer's Twitch channel, I believe it's one of the saved videos, he sits down with, I think it was one of the writers and the producer of The Force Unleashed, and he plays The Force Unleashed on his Twitch channel. It's incredible.
He's live over there a lot, guys. Actually.
Yeah.
If you
Well,
guys
and that's what I'm saying. He's big into gaming. He's very active in the community. I think if Dave or John called and said, "Hey, you want to play Star?" I think before they say killer, it's a yes. I'll do it for free. Yes. Let's go.
Wait, the man or the planet? Hold on.
Yeah.
Right.
You need to clarify.
They hang up the phone. They're like, "All right, we got Sam Witwer for the StarCraft movie."
Right. Yeah. I just think it's a no-brainer. And then if you tell him, "Hey, you're going to be playing along Hayden," and that's automatically breaks the internet. I think even he would be ecstatic about standing side with Hayden.
Yeah. It would be unbelievable. It's a dream, and I have dreamt about seeing something happen in that form for a long time, ever since these games came out all those years ago. This is hands down one of my favorite parts of the Star Wars story. I still consider this a major role in it because so much has been inspired by it. And it's one of those stories and games that, for the most part, pretty much every Star Wars fan really likes this. You know, I'm sure there's some people who hate this game, and all right, well, that's fine. That's okay. But it's one of those rare things in the world of Star Wars that I think the majority of us all get behind.
Yeah.
And it's just...
It would have to be done properly. It would have to
Yes.
have the right producing team. It would have to have the right directing team. It would have to have the right story team. It would have to be done right. Any large missteps would take everybody out of it. So it would have to be done properly. You know, with a lot of attention and a lot of care.
Yes. No, absolutely. All right, guys. We started this night talking about Sith Armor and the what ifs that could have been. Let's not make the chat wait any longer. Let's dive into it. We're going to head over back to the cinematics, and we're going to find out what happened if Starkiller killed Darth Vader. We got to go all the way to the bottom. All right.
All the way down.
This cinematic is called The Emperor's Slave.
Excellent. Lord Vader was a broken shadow of his former self. I knew that one day you would replace him. You'll have just one final test. Destroy your ties to the Jedi, and at last you will be a Sith Lord.
Blue saber.
Betrayed your master and your allies. I knew that you would betray me as well. And now, you have doomed yourself and your friends.
He gets tossed around so much.
Yeah, he does.
He has learned how to fall so perfectly.
Oh. Bale is dead. Oh, here's the nightmare fuel.
You had such promise. You could have been my successor, my equal. But now... But I may still have some small use for you. I still have enemies to find and destroy. You will do my bidding until I find a new apprentice. And then, like Vader, you will be cast aside. Finish him.
It's so brutal. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, Palpatine is just like, he just flat out tells him there. He's like, look, you're going to do exactly what I tell you to do. And when I feel like I'm done with you, you're done. That's it. I'm going to end you. Like, this is just, he is putting all kinds of fear into now his new weapon. Because that's what, Vader was a weapon.
Right.
For Palpatine. And what this game does, and it's something I'm looking forward to doing because it'll take us between both games. On the upcoming streams here on the channel, I'm going to play the DLC and play all 3 of them straight through in one stream. Because what we get from that alternate ending is an alternate original trilogy. And it's unbelievable. Imagine the OT with no Darth Vader.
Right.
And you have Starkiller, as OP as he is, now a beaten down slave to Palpatine with that crazy armor and the spikes on his hands, like basically Darth Freddy just force abilities that are insane. He even gets like the crazy purple lightning. You could pick up multiple other characters and just toss them. He's absolutely brutal. But there's another moment that comes into play in the DLC where you have a run-in with Han, Chewie, Luke, and Obi-Wan on Tatooine when they're trying to leave Mos Eisley. Well, Obi-Wan, being Obi-Wan, wants to protect Luke and everybody else, so he takes on Starkiller. And for those who don't know what happens there, I won't spoil it here. We will be diving into that DLC in a live stream. We're going to run through all 3. It's going to cover A New Hope, which will have a new title, The Empire Strikes Back, which will have a new title, and Return of the Jedi, which will also have a new title. And it will show us a what-if scenario. Basically, the equivalent to what we got with Marvel, except in the world of Star Wars, and it turns out it existed way before Marvel's What If. So that's something I got upcoming. Stay tuned to the channel because it's going to be a lot of fun. And I've been in a Star Wars gaming mood. I don't know if anybody can tell based on the last videos I've been doing, but I don't know what it is about this new year, but I am neck deep in Star Wars games. They even on the PlayStation Plus service, they just released Star Wars Demolition as one of the titles. I don't know if you guys ever played that, but imagine Twisted Metal except with Star Wars vehicles.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Give me that. Yep.
It's crazy. So there's going to be tons of stuff. I know I put up a list on the community page of upcoming games that we're going to be playing. That one's definitely added to the list. The DLC for these games is going to be added in there. And I'm thinking of, I would love to do somewhat of a similar to what we did tonight, a somewhat of a deep dive look into the sequel of this game where we go into Vader's cloning experiments, because I feel like that's something that was heavily pulled from in The Mandalorian when it comes to Grogu and everything they're doing there. That's a storyline that, you know, a lot of people are split on that, whether or not you can clone Force abilities and things like that, but it's been done, and it's been done really well.
Right.
So that's something that I think it would be fun if we can get get a bunch of us together again. We'll do a little deep dive, what if, some theories of what's going on in there, what could be, into Force Unleashed 2. But yeah, this is pretty much what I wanted to kind of share with everybody in this game. I know it was a little all over the place tonight. My apologies for the technical difficulties tonight. I have no idea what happened. I'm gonna have to.
Fun night.
It's been interesting, right? I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to hone in all the settings again. But no, I love doing these theories. Right? We're gonna have to just save everything as is.
Save it.
Man, if you all saw what we were trying to do before this stream started, I was pulling my hair out. These guys are laughing at me. I'm just sitting there like, I can't hear anything.
It was great. It's a great way to start a Wednesday.
It really is.
So you want to be a YouTuber?
Yeah, you know, there's
you want to hang out in our Discords and see how fun it is.
Oh my goodness, guys, what do you guys got coming up, man? Obsession, what do you got coming up, dude?
Let's see what's we'll probably do a Lego build maybe tomorrow. We'll see. I might get set up for that, but just enjoying things until Mando comes out. So we're gonna do some deep dive Mandalorian lore stuff. We already started it last night while we were streaming, getting prep for Bad Batch. So we're gonna continue to do the Tuesday evening pre-shows because we're not staying up late for Bad Batch, but we will for Mando. But yeah, we're just connecting some dots with everything going on right now. So yeah, we're just keep your eye out. There's more coming.
Nice. I love it. Hawks, what do you got going on, dude?
I'm all in on Tarkov, man. Escape from Tarkov. If you guys are not aware of what the game is, I promise you it's probably the most hardcore first-person shooter that's out right now. So I'm struggling to get good at that, but eventually it'll happen. Just about 500, 600 hours played right now, and people who are around 1,000 to 2,000 is when it starts to kick in. So, it's map knowledge. It's a lot of cool, like, watching me struggle. There's very stressful moments, but you're going to see wins, bro. You're going to see high moments in these games, and it's very realistic audio, so I appreciate anyone that comes through. Even to check the replay, I think that my replay quality is, leagues above where it was, so
you're rocking it,
all
dude.
The views.
I love watching those streams, man.
Appreciate
Especially,
y'all.
dude, the moments where you're just like, all of a sudden, you just kind of duck and you just like, you start getting real close to your mic and you're like, chat.
I like to try
think
to
there's
be
a guy over there.
casual during this, so I'll be telling stories about like literal Star Wars theories.
Very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits here.
Bro, literally in the middle of like talking about a theory, and then I hear a thing, and it's just like silence for the next 2 minutes to try to figure out where the sound came from. But
dude, my heart starts racing when I'm watching that. I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna happen?
And if you don't think it will, man, I implore you guys to come check me out. And my streams are very like on the fly at this moment because I can game just when I feel like it. So notification bell is huge.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, if you haven't yet, make sure you guys are subbed to these guys. Check out their channels if you haven't yet. There's been so many people in the live chat tonight. I'm so sorry I missed so many of the chats, guys. Just so you know, I was telling these guys this the other day. I actually go back and I watch my replays so that I can watch the chat because I love to see what you guys are all going on. I feel like there's a whole other show going over there in the live chat, so I always check it out. Definitely leave some comments on the videos. If let me know what you guys want to see more of on here. Like I said, we're in a big Star Wars mode lately, but we're going to be diving back into other genres soon. But I'm in a Star Wars mood, so we might as well run with it.
Matt pays a lot more attention to the chat when we're not here too, so come back when he's by himself.
True, this is also true.
My mind was scattered tonight.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of rattled. You kind of got rattled at the beginning, so it's okay. It's okay.
It was fun though, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this. I love talking the theories and the ideas and bouncing it off you guys. It's always so much fun.
4K Star Wars gaming.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, this was the easiest one. I was saying this earlier in the chat, guys. If anyone's looking to amp up their older Star Wars games, look for the fan mods, but also look for the simple things like what happened here tonight. Force Unleashed, literally, just edit the configuration file. It's a Word document. You just literally backspace the resolution and put the one you want, and then save. And it was the easiest thing. I couldn't believe it. So it's killer. Check out all these Star Wars games. There's Star Wars bundles on Steam and all that stuff. They're always on sale. And then obviously these games on the consoles that they were on as well. Play them wherever you can. Old school LucasArts games were the best. And we got some great Star Wars gaming coming in the future in the form of Jedi Survivor. You are definitely going to be seeing that game here. You're going to be seeing it at the Star Wars Obsession. Hawks, I don't know if you're going to be diving into it, but if you do, we're going to be there with you. And it's that game's going to be killer. So a lot to look forward to in the world of Star Wars gaming. But as always, I'm going to be sticking to the older stuff for the most part because that's where my heart lives. All right, everybody,
with
guys.
The tagline, baby.
Right, we're gonna hit you with it, everybody. As always, keep retro gaming alive because one day your games will be retro too. I'll see you all next time down in the Matcave.